I've got that feeling, that linger feeling. 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 When
Made from fresh local fruits of mulberry, jambula, rosella, strawberry, plum, white guava and white peach, and naturally fermented for 1 or 2 years in our cool cellar, comes Malawi's own Linga. Here's to a smooth taste, unsurpassed quality, and distinctive fruit wines. When in Malawi, it has to be Linga.
Hello and welcome. In our main story in the program today, Agriculture Minister Robin Lowe has conceded that some farmers are still being duped by some vendors and firms in the country. Lowe said this on Monday when he opened the Mzuzu auction floors in Mzuzu. Our journalist Sam Kalimina was there, caught up with the minister, and has since filed this report.
Speaking on the sidelines after opening the Mzuzu auction floors on Monday, Lowe singled out some companies processing animal feed who he said are buying maize from farmers below the minimum 150 kwacha price per kilogram. He said some companies connive some indigenous Malawians and other vendors to be buying maize in rural areas at as low as 70 kwacha per kilogram to sell to chicken feed processing firms at 120 kwacha per kilogram. Lowe said such firms also target to buy the maize before Agriculture Development Marketing Corporation of Malawi, ADMAC, to maximize profit margin. He then said once his ministry is finalizing with the evidence, such companies will be closed down and the vendors arrested.
We have information that processors, those processors who are making feed, animal feed, have actually engaged indigenous Malawians. They are offering them money to buy because it was the indigenous who were offered some licenses. And they are going to the villages to buy from farmers as low as 70 kwacha per kilogram, 80 kwacha per kilogram, so that maybe they can profit after selling to these financiers at 100 or 120 per kilogram. Even if they feel like hiding, as a government, we are always there. The police is on the ground, and I'm warning, we'll find them, we'll arrest them.
Lowe has since also asked tobacco buyers not to buy below the minimum price of 90 cents, saying that would not be acceptable. Lowe said the buyers should consider the effort farmers use to produce the leaf. Meanwhile, ADMAC chairperson Alexander Kusamba Zonzi said the state-run grain trader has commenced buying produce starting with the southern region. He said ADMAC will start buying in some areas of the central region in the coming weeks. For the decades, Malawi is an agrarian economy with about 80% of the population living in rural areas and other families. Maize and tobacco are respectively Malawi's staple and top export crops, followed by tea, sugar, cotton, rice, and pulses as major cash crops.
Now, the 2021 tobacco selling season was opened some few weeks ago. There's been some slight improvement in terms of prices and revenue from the green gourd. which is touted to remain Malawi's top export crop. However, tobacco farmers are lamenting the high rejection rate on the market. Our journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi went to the Limbe auction floors where he caught up with some farmers to find out their experience in as far as the season is concerned this far.
The tobacco marketing season has entered the third week, but according to farmers, things have turned to the worst on the market. Those on the auction market complain of a high rejection reaching up to 98%. Those on the contract market are complaining of low prices. For example, at the opening of the Limbe auction floors in Blantyre, the highest price offered was $2.40. But 2 weeks later, the highest price has reduced to $1.80.
Ford yakuchuluka kwambiri kubweza. Kotero kuti timaganiza kuti chaka chino ndi chimene mulimi mwina angathe kusanga.
The rejection rate is way high. We are hopeful that this year we could earn more from tobacco, but there is nothing for us here. We do not even understand the relationship between government and the buying companies, because even the minister assured us that they will ensure that the market will go smooth and that we will benefit, but that has not materialized.
Last week, my tobacco was sent back from the market. This week, they have also sent it back on reoffer, but I come from Mayaka in Zomba. And every time I come, I'm spending a lot of transport. So this business is only benefiting those in the transportation sector.
The Ministry of Agriculture should come to our rescue and engage the buyers to start buying significant amounts on the market. Otherwise, the situation is bad. Imagine we sold our cattle to support tobacco production, and frustration is what we are getting.
Further, the farmers pray that the government should make good of their promise to protect them and ensure they benefit from their labor. Spokesperson in the Ministry of Agriculture, Gresham Lungu, believes the answer lies in separating commencement of the auction market from the contract market.
We have indeed seen that in most tobacco marketing floors, the rejection rate and even the prices have become issues, and case study of Limbe where we have seen that farmers really complained, and even in Ganengo, which led to even farmers protesting against the low prices which are offered to them. As a minister, of course, what we did is to still look at the best ways on how we're going to deal with this challenge. But upon approaching some relevant stakeholders in the industry, we have established that the buyers, they are liking to buy mostly from the contract farming, unlike the auction floors, because they did give the inputs to the farmers. So they want first to realize their the proceeds or the to recover the money which they gave the farmers to grow the tobacco this season. So for this reason, they prefer to buy the tobacco from on contract farmers, so that in the near future they can now start buying from auction floors. So as a ministry, we are trying to make sure that the farmers really start getting the prices which are good, and at the same time to decrease the rejection rate. So in the near future, once the these buyers from the farmers who are on contract, we will see most of these buyers now are fighting for the tobacco under the auction floors. So with that, we are very assured that the farmers will prices, and at the same time, the rejection rate will go down, as we have witnessed in the long way that some buyers, with the coming in of some buyers, totaling to 4 now, the rejection rate has gone down to around 50%.
At the opening of the 2021 tobacco selling season, President Lazarus Chakwera conceded that the tobacco industry is fast dying. But from what the farmers are saying, they have nowhere to go, and they will still cling to the tobacco industry, for it is what they know best.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. We'll be right back.
Zinenenje. Sasa mnalimo muno? Ya, ndimatsa kulia rozina ndizina mwali. Mademo chopata. Sugar, apo tukona nkaka. Umatu masambati nje mulibe uno. Alamwa kurusa mwali omasamba. Ndakala soti ngati. Amwali. Koma soto ino basket nyonse yango dzadza ndi made in Malawi yoka. Tamakani moyo tsogola bogula zinthu za kunja. Maganizo amene uri ndobwezera chituko cha dziko lino mbuyo. Kugula zinthu zopangidwa kwathu konkuno kumathandiza kuweza ntchito za makampani a dziko muno. Zomwe soto zimapereka mwayi wa ntchito kwa anthu ambiri. Ogwira ntchito akachuluka dziko lathu limatolera tumisonkho yochuluka. Chumanso chimakwera. Ngagula katundu wakunja mumangolemeretsa mayiko akunjawo ife sitipindula kanthu. Kani ndikuuzani ipo ndipo ndendamvetsatu. Ndandikire pompa. Nene ndikagula zinthu zathu za chimalawi. Sindichedwa tikule zathu tikule dziko lathu. Ndidikire sindichedwa. Dziko lathu bai Malawi tikondendi kunyadira za chimalawi. Tikamagula za kunja.
Welcome back. Continuing with the program, the local currency, the kwacha, has continued to lose its grip against major trading currencies in the country in the recent past. What could attribute the performance of the local unit this time around when we expected the local currency to be gaining momentum compared to the time when we were in a lean period? This is a question our journalist Justin Mkweu attempts in this report.
By close of 2015, in December, the kwacha was trading at 636 kwacha against the dollar, 954 kwacha against the pound, 692 kwacha against the euro, and 42 kwacha against rand. The local currency lost value in the next year, as by December 2016, it was trading at 726 kwacha against the dollar, 907 kwacha against the pound, 765 kwacha against the euro, and 52 kwacha against rand. 5 years down the line, the Malawi kwacha shows no sign of gaining power, as evidenced by its depreciation registered last month against all its trading partners. According to the figures from the Reserve Bank of Malawi for April, the kwacha was trading against the dollar at 793 kwacha from 783 kwacha in March, and the local currency was trading at 1,148 kwacha in April from 1,139 kwacha in the preceding month against the pound. The local currency also depreciated against the rand, trading at 58 kwacha in April from 55 kwacha in March, and against the euro, where it was trading at 1,011 kwacha in April from 994 kwacha in the preceding month. Economics professor Ben Kalua from Chancellor College said the depreciation is expected because of Malawi's dependence on imports against its narrow export base. He added that Malawi's export base is very narrow and it is not being divested, and that is a recipe for trade deficit, and he does not expect the situation to change much unless the country lifts the economy out of tobacco dependence. Another economist from Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, MUBAS, Pechani Chereni, agreed in a separate interview with Kalua. He added that if the situation will be left unchecked, it will continue having negative effects on micro and macro economy.
Chief among them, of course, is inflationary. Because we are a predominantly importing country and not an exporting one, you find that pretty much a bigger percentage of our needs is going to be satisfied through imports. So we still need to import, and therefore the kwacha is going to be going up. Therefore, we will end up having to import at higher prices. So you and me are going to be suffering. It's going to kill us. Inflationary prices are going to be going up. Prices of soap, prices of maybe some food items, prices of many things, they are going to be going up, and that actually eats away from into the welfare of the people of the country. And apart from the inflationary aspect, because macroeconomic fundamentals, they tend to depend on each other, you also find that interest rates would have been affected. Another problem which is important is one where we have people like investors, they fail to plan for investments, and that is also a huge problem.
Chereni added that he expects the situation to improve due to the onset of agricultural markets, but the good days will not last long. He therefore suggests some long-term solutions to the problem.
The president has come on the scene and he has stated that we have to go mining. We are not abandoning agriculture, but we are saying that over and above agriculture, let's also think mining. Let's think manufacturing, because it is through mining that many other industrial companies are going to come in here. And apart from those many other industrial companies coming in here, but we are also going to make sure that we are also exporting a lot of gemstones and many other minerals. And that is going to help us to gain, to have our kwacha gain its value. Of course, when the kwacha is losing value, the expectation is that our exports are going to be competitive on the international market. But the question that we keep to ask is, which exports? We don't have those exports. So there's no point for us to be having a kwacha that has lost value, because there is no exports at all. It is when we have the exports and our kwacha has lost the value that we are going to be like Japan, that we are going to be like China, that our exports are going to be competitive on the international scene, and therefore we are going to benefit more. So diversification is the answer. Diversification, not abandoning one sector, but let us diversify.
Malawi's economy is highly sensitive to external forces, as its export base is narrow, highly dependent on exporting raw agricultural products, with tobacco being the main export earner.
Now, the Competition and Fair Trading Commission has launched an investigation into the rise of cooking oil in the country. In the past months, the country has seen cooking oil prices rising as high as 70%. Justin Mkweu has the whole story in this report.
According to the Consumers Association of Malawi, KAMA, their data shows that oil prices have risen between 38% to 52% from the time VAT was reintroduced, which is not in tandem with 16.5% reintroduced VAT. Speaking at a media training in Blantyre, Competition and Fair Trading Commission CFTC Executive Director James Kapale said they launched an investigation to find out how the 16.5% VAT has caused the prices to rise by over 50%. He discloses that the investigations are at an advanced stage and they will be releasing their report soon.
As Competition and Fair Trading Commission, we have engaged the oil manufacturers out there, and we are conducting investigations which are trying to find out if there is enough justification in what they are saying, that the introduction of value-added tax is one which has led to the increase in the price of cooking oil in the country. We have reached an extent where our investigations are going to a conclusion, and pretty soon we'll be back with what we have found on the market as what is causing the prices to rise in cooking oil. But I shouldn't want to preempt on our investigations, because we have engaged several stakeholders, including our government, the Malawi Revenue Authority, the Ministry of Finance, the oil manufacturers, cooking oil manufacturers out there, and we are getting to the bottom of it. So pretty soon we'll be back to inform the nation on what we have found as Competition and Fair Trading Commission.
Capital Oil Refining Industries Limited Executive Director Amin Karim maintained in an earlier interview that as much as there are other factors which have led to the rise, they are burdened by VAT, which makes the country's oil more expensive than smuggled oil. He says that they will continue lobbying government to consider removing the tax because their businesses may shut down.
We will keep our dialogue on We will keep on speaking to the government. The last government that removed VAT from cooking oil, it took them 6 to 7 years. We will fight. This is our country. We will fight. Look, let me be honest with you. We can create jobs if we are making money.
Head of Corporate Affairs at MRA, Stephen Kabuloma, also maintains that VAT should not be the reason manufacturers are worrying, because VAT is paid by consumers, not them.
There is a lot of revenue that we are collecting each and every month from this, and that is a testament that the introduction of VAT by government to increase revenue is bearing fruits. We must also pinpoint the fact that the smuggling has been there. Even when the government removed VAT on cooking oil, smuggling continued. We have been intercepting various forms of pockets of cooking oil coming in from Mozambique, and that has continued. And we have no evidence that the smuggling has now increased now after the introduction of VAT. So what we are saying is that the manufacturers should be truthful with the information. They have increased the price of cooking oil by over 60%, when in actual fact VAT contribution to that is less than 10%. So where is the 50% coming from? They are not able to explain that. And they are going out there talking about 10%, when actually the main factor in their pricing is something else.
Government reintroduced VAT on cooking oil in the 2020-2021 national budget after it was scrapped off in 2017.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Bye for now, but always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense.